tell? Okay, so African men are not told they're handsome, many of them.
Yeah.
Very few men are bought for, African men are bought for flowers. I'm intentional to get my friends who are male, my father, my brother, flowers.
Give us compliments as men. I think it's the whole toxic masculinity thing that is combined,
compliments.
that different forums provide different platforms. Earlier this morning,
I like that different forums provide different platforms.
Yes.
Pastor, umeiva kwa pastor.
Yes, compliment. Take it.
There's a tendency that we have as Africans, me sometimes included. We don't like to pay for things, which is so sad. You hear there's an event, kuna ticket ya bure, you know.
People shouldn't shy away from investing just because I do not have money to put in. Not all investments necessarily start with large capital. I think I've had so many stories of people who started with an egg to a chicken run.
So, to talk about what you can do at the best level.
Yeah.
You can. Someone will pick that and they will mention your name in that room of opportunities.
Hi guys, welcome to Authentic by Magoma. This is Africa's leading platform, transforming minds and creating mental shifts through content that informs, enlightens, and entertains. On today's video, we're going to be talking about networking. A couple of you guys have been asking me, how do you get a job? How do you access opportunities? How do you get mentioned in a room filled with opportunities even if you're not in those rooms? And with me here, I have two phenomenal individuals. One who's very good at networking. You remember that activity that we had? He mobilized 99% of people. the Push Forward Initiative activity at the children's home. He literally mobilized majority of the people. He got people to show up. And for me, that was very, very admirable. The fact that he can post something and people will feel like supporting. They will feel obliged to show up. They will feel like this is a worthy cause. That is a gift that not everyone has. It's recognizing what you have and tapping into that. The other one has been a recruiter before in his career, and I want him to get into that as well while we delve into the conversation of networking, what it is, why it's important, and how to do it. Then we shall get into investments. Both of them are still youth. So when do you invest as a young person? When is the right time? How do you do it? Because last weekend we went to their farm. They're looking to invest in farming, yeah, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
It was really, really good. I was there for the nyama and good vibes. But everything else was really, really good. But we'll first start with just an introduction, getting to know who they are. Tell me, Babs, what's up?
Just say,
Babs number one. No, he's a youth, please.
please, I feel youthful. Like you said, youthful.
Youthful.
Yeah, I'm feeling Babs. In a few years, maybe, accept the name Babs.
Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's a privilege to be on your show. I don't know, it's amazing and it's exciting to be able to talk about networking and even business as young people. As a man, yeah, everybody calls me Kip. That's the easiest way to identify me.
Yeah, tunataka government.
As a that's my government name.
Zote tatu.
I belong to the government. So my name is Kip and I, Grayson Cherubiot. Yeah, it's a mouthful, trust me. So just call me Kip. It is fine. What else do you need to know about me?
Anything you want us to know?
Mimi vibe yangu.
Ni ukweli, hakuna uongo hapo.
I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I love good things. I love adventure. I love exploring any new opportunity that come my way. I am that guy who's like, let's see.
Yeah.
Wherever the road leads is fine with me. and that's how I believe my social networks have started. It's always being open and accommodating to people and just looking beyond what you see in that person. So yeah, I'm a go-getter, my adventure at heart. That's my style of life. Yeah.
That's true. Thank you for coming here. And it's true, he is very adventurous. What's up?
I'm good.
Pasta!
Yes,
Guys, if you watch the PFI video that showed his home, he's the only person which was everyone was like, children, you can get a doctor, you can get nakwambia ulitushikilia, ulitupa jina nzuri, yeah? You gave us a good name because at least one of us thought of the I did, but
you have to lead people that lesson.
everyone was like, you can be a doctor, you can be who, nini. Ay, Mr. Pastor over here.
The Bible says
Alianza na nameshikilia mic. So I have a reading for you. I don't have much. I have a reading for you in the book of Ephesians.
conscience.
You have to have content from
Only tribe. It's a good thing.
It's everything.
So our official name for him is Mr. Pastor.
Probably never do. Maybe down the line it's a calling.
What I was called is like a dad, like
That's straight return.
So there's a pretense.
to support. Lakini 310.
Unaweza tu hata sadaka. Unapatie namba.
07.
My official name is Alan Pastor.
Accepted.
Hesbon Moseti. That's my name. What am I? I'm so many things. Right now I am a banker. I work with Credit Bank. I'm also a very passionate farmer. I've been doing that for the last 2.5 years. I love traveling. Not as much as Kip, but yes. I love traveling. I recently able to discover that I'm so good at squash. Anyway, I'm that awesome. I love football. Yes. What else?
Anything.
I don't know.
It's your story.
There's so much.
And you used to be a recruiter. I think that's important.
Yes, I used to be a recruiter before. I've done so many things, I guess. In this
we all know who the Babs is.
Yeah. Trying to get to the mob status. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for coming.
I'm very grateful.
Kip, I really liked you mentioned something about like how you've built your network is through basically accepting people for who they are and seeing beyond what you see. What does that mean exactly? That for some reason that has just really stuck into my mind.
I think for that, allow me to give an example,
Yeah.
If you walk into a mall right now, the person you would see probably there would be security guard, But see me in uniform, he has a name tag and what have you. But you realize that guy goes beyond being a security guard. So most of the time, if I'm able to read the tag, I'll read their name and call them by their name, not soldier or guard or CG. Because it's important to see beyond that uniform that he's wearing. He's a man, a woman, a father, a brother, all those things. And he can do more than just that. You go somewhere and then you take like you talk to someone and akupatia his contact and umepata himself for example, and then you're like John Shoemaker. And that guy won't be a shoemaker forever. He'll become a CEO somewhere and you'll be like you're calling John the CEO and finally consume it's like John Shoemaker. So I learned to see beyond John the Shoemaker, for example, or Michael or Susan the guard. It's beyond that. So if you're able to see beyond what this person is able to provide at that point in time, you realize that your networks will go in the sense that this person will introduce you to someone else, to some other person, and you get to see beyond what that person is doing at that point. That JD doesn't, it ends at that particular point where his time has ended. Beyond there, I would say, utapata ametoka kubrush viatu, jioni anaenda kufanya farming somewhere. And you never know, if you don't talk to that person beyond knowing his name and his job description, you never know he's a farmer.
Yeah.
Or he can help you somewhere with farming or whatever it is, with all due respect. So if you see beyond that, that's where you start.
I really like that. Now let's just go to the basics 101, and I'll ask this to Mr. Pastor.
Yeah.
What is networking?
For me, I think the most basic is trying to establish connections with different people for a common purpose. I feel like this is the basic of it. You need to have a common ground as to why you want to establish a specific network, or why would I want to know Kip. There has to be a reason behind me knowing Kip.
Yeah.
So this actually goes beyond me trying my aspirations, my goals as a person, my ambitions, where do I see myself tomorrow, and that will define who I want to associate myself with, and where will I place myself to meet these people.
Doesn't matter. That sounds like being intentional in one word.
I think creating networks is more intentional than we ought to. Most of the time, I think we tend not to think along those lines. We think it's more of, oh, by the way, I just met them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's you trying to place yourself in a specific place at a specific time for a specific opportunity to come and sweep you along.
But I'm curious, because majority of my audience is between 18 years to 26, then between 28 and around 42, my viewership. So let's say I'm fresh off campus. I have not had the opportunity to intentionally go into different spaces. I have not defined what I really want out of each space that I walk into. How do I define that? How do I define that if I meet Kip or if I meet Mr. Shoemaker, there's a possibility. This is someone that I can serve and who can serve me.
Yeah.
How do you build? Because there's being intentional and then there's defining what you want to be intentional about. So how do you define that, especially when you're just starting off in your career?
It's a really good question. For me, I think it's a struggle where, especially after campus, it's good that now in this generation it's more easy, it's easier. It's with the online platforms and everything. So I think where most of us, I wish I had known earlier, it starts with you as a person, with you as an individual. If I define myself, if I know what my identity is, what I identify myself as. So if I'll give you an example. If I wanted to be a journalist, for sure, what would be at the back of my mind, this is where I'll start from. One, I know that I want to be in media.
Yeah.
So what I will do is, I will try and align myself with people who are in the same career path as me. Because most often than not, we do the mambo jumbo kind of way. One, I don't know what I want to do. I just want to try everything here and there, see what sticks. So you end up not knowing the niche that you want to associate yourself with. So that's one of the issues. Secondly, it's wanting to do everything at a time. We're jumping from here to there. Because that's what I also struggled with for some time. I didn't know exactly, because everything looked very interesting at that time. So I wanted to be this, so I associated myself with this. I wanted to be in CU pastor. So I'm going to see you. I want to, there's, even at some point I went to MCA just because they looked cool and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like networking starts from way before you even finish school. Cliques in school. Because there are people who associate themselves with very different cliques in school.
Yeah.
But these are the cool ones, these are the chuppies, these are the ones who I don't know the other cliques. So I don't know.
Because you're not excel.
Those ones. No. So it starts from way back.
Yeah.
You tend to associate with yourself with a specific group.
Yeah.
Now if you translate now that into now the serious other things about life, your career, your aspirations, your ambitions, it will be easier for you to define your target group in terms of networking.
I really like that. Now, keep to you, because we have people who are quite shy and they don't know where to start. We already at least have how to do it and defining how to be intentional. I walk into a room, I'm at the onset of my career. I've just gone for summit, event, etc. And I have identified that Kip is the person that I want to talk to, and I'm intentional about speaking to him. But I'm a little bit shy. Either I don't know how to speak to people in public, or I don't know what to say. How do I strike a conversation? Because you're really good at that. I've watched you do that so many times. You're like a people magnet, which is so admirable, I must say. Like is it a personality thing? Is it something that you're intentional about to say hello? How do you start? I'm shy, I want to talk to someone. I'm not, but hypothetically, I want to talk to someone in a room full of people. How do I ensure that I'm not just there? Because we have very many people who show up for things. They even pay for them, yeah? Which is a conversation that should be following, yeah? I'll pay for something over 3,000 shillings. I will go and my voice will not be heard by anyone in the room. Then I've wasted my time, my money, because I have gained nothing except listening. Because then how will that person recommend me to the next person? Yeah.
I think it boils, a huge part is played by the personality thing.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is able to talk to a crowd, and not everyone is able to strike a conversation just easily. But then again, once you identify in terms of personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, and what have you, you get to know where to start.
But I'm curious, let me cut you short. How do you identify your strengths and your weaknesses? Because it's one thing to know that you already have it, but whoever we're talking to out there, we're trying to provide solutions. You and I, the 3-5 of us in this room already know how to do that. But the person watching this video probably is struggling with that, because those are questions that I have gotten and I have not had the answers to them. So that's why I have both of you here.
Okay. I don't know if this is going to answer the question, but allow me to give a brief story. True story, back in campus, I had a friend called Martin, and me, Martin, and Jerry were on campus together. We used to couple together we used to live in Ronda at that point. I was at Tekwa. So me and Jerry were random. I am random till the day that you met the most of the randomness. And we just come up and we're like, Leo, tunaenda wapi? Kiseria. So we do what we need to do, like if you have to like couple, pick a few things and stuff. Martin is the kind of person who is not a random person. He has to plan.
Yeah.
He has to think through. So if I tell him leo tunacheza pool after, like, no, it wasn't planned for this.
Yeah.
And it's something that doesn't need a lot of execution, a lot of planning, but he will not do it. I'm going to Coast on Friday. I wake up on Thursday, like, Kesha, I'm going to Coast. That's so me. But now Martin, on the other hand, has to plan 2 weeks ahead, 3 weeks ahead. What I'm trying to say is, you need to know yourself in that manner. I think it boils back to trying to understand how you behave with people. With the shy people, it's even if someone approaches you, it's difficult for you to talk, right? For the loud, I won't call them loud. Extroverts. It's easy for you to walk to someone and like, niaje. Yeah. Those pick-up lines people use in maths. Hii serikali bwana. So it's
Zakayo bwana.
Yeah, Zakayo. People blaming Zakayo for everything. So it's easy for the extroverts to start that conversation, but for someone who is shy, you can't even start a conversation and you can't even receive a conversation. I think accept that part that probably I am shy, but then the thing is give room for other people to involve you in your conversation. So you know that you don't have the courage to speak to a CEO or to speak to Nyanchama over there. Place yourself in that side.
Hi guys, I'm Nyanchama, by the way.
Okay, my government. Just place yourself in that cycle and someone will talk to you. Now, once they talk to you, give them room to involve you in what they're talking about. So everything starts with that conversation. Everything starts with that conversation. So give them room to talk to you and build from there based on how they started the conversation. For extroverts,
I don't face those problems, but I want to help.
So also for extroverts, what I'm trying to say is when you see that someone else is trying to communicate with you, picking a topic or just being in your cycles, can you talk to that person? Yeah, say something, even hi, just a hello, it will Zakaya na Tumaliza, it starts that conversation.
Yeah.
And out of that rises the need to build social networks. Because once you talk to a person, it will lead to one thing to another. And be open. Not everyone has bad intentions.
I like that.
You need to give the benefit of that for everyone you meet. Not everyone who wants to talk to you wants to has ill intention to you. Just listen, filter, draw boundaries, build from there. Because if not that, where do you even go? You need to start that conversation, accept the conversation, and build from there. If it gets to a point where you feel like this is not part of my conversation, that's where you draw the boundaries. But if it's something that you can build from there, that's where you go, up and about and beyond.
But now, let's go back to the boundaries conversation because it's very important. One, especially for the ladies probably who are watching, it's a common thing that it's been instilled in our minds, yeah? To be very overly cautious about who's speaking to you, what they're saying to you, drawing boundaries, establishing boundaries basically, boundaries and how you let them associate with you. Well, it's for our safety, but then the unfortunate bit is that we have fewer individuals, especially younger women, who want to go out there and show their skill sets and their abilities and their capacity to deliver beyond what they look like.
Yeah.
Most people will show up to a room, and I'm sure you've seen this before, and I'm saying it with all the love in my heart because I've also seen it. A woman shows up, she looks amazing, but she opens her mouth and you can see that she's not confident enough to deliver. A guy will do the same thing, he looks like trash, no offense. But you want to get his number, like, sir, you're a network I want to keep, yeah? Because the conversations we have with different genders is somehow different. It's not something I face, but it's something that I'm very observant. I've seen it. So I see it. Well, please correct me. Am I wrong? Have you seen it before?
It happens.
Like, it's one thing to dress nice, and it's another thing to dress nice, then showcase what you're capable of. Because we're talking about networking. So does your outfit matter? Two, how do you move beyond your outfit, whether man or woman?
All right. I remember there was a time back in high school. Someone said we used to tell each other this joke. It's a joke, but it's meant for fun. As a fun, light travels faster than sound, so that's why some people appear better until they talk.
Wait, ulikuwa unapika tonight?
Now that you
We're having honest conversations. Please don't bash me in the comment section. This is real. We're trying to provide solutions. Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. Dressing matters a lot because it's the first thing that people see.
Yeah.
Because it also determines how someone will address you. Will they address you with decorum? Will they just take you as a cover person? So I feel like, even for me, I dress up how I want people to see me and approach me. Like right now, I'm very easy, so anyone can approach me. It's a very casual
Conversation. Yeah.
So it's easy. But then again, the dressing style is determined by where you're going and who you're meeting. So you have to be very intentional again on how you're dressing.
Yeah.
At least get to learn about who you're going to meet. I can't go meeting a CEO with shorts, for sure.
Well, unless you're in tech.
Yeah. Or sometimes even in tech.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends with who also your boss is.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Especially now in our line of work, not unless you're going to the farm. Most of the time we're in ties, suits. And sometimes it's not our way. We don't want it every other day. I like it more when I'm going to the farm because nobody cares. It's me feeling me. So the dressing part, I think it's conditional, depending on who you're going, where you're going, who you're meeting, and why you're meeting them. Whatever you said is very true, and unfortunately now our society is like that. Because we're trying to get to where we don't see a woman as just another gender. you're learning to appreciate as a woman who is bringing something to the table, more than her beauty, more than her looks. She's bringing something worth listening to.
But sorry, that does not mean look bad. Please. Bad is good.
Disclaimer. Yeah, but we are tending to look at, because look at our professors in high school. They are very sharp upstairs, but
Very shaggy.
Very shaggy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean
No one teaches you this in school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
so. It's more of you loving yourself. I think there's nothing that you can say more than you do you, and you appreciate you. And me loving my body means I will dress up well for me,
Yeah.
not for any other person.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see me being appreciated by other people, but the first thing that they see. But then again, I want to complement that by what is upstairs, so that once I've got their attention through how I look, then now the finished movies, what do I have upstairs?
Yeah.
So I feel that's a better combo than just
Looking good.
looking good.
Or just having something upstairs. They need to be able to complement each other.
Complement each other.
Yeah.
Look good and be smart.
Can I
Doesn't
advise
hurt.
on that?
Yeah.
They usually say dress the way you want to be addressed.
Yes.
It plays a huge role.
Yeah.
Actually. And do dress the way you want to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's an aspect of being cool and chill and everything,
But dressing well does not mean dressing official.
For sure.
I'm getting
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry. My bad.
You can't wear a suit and go to the farm.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. So, like, dress the way you want to be addressed and dress for the occasion. It's important to be able to look at you and to want to talk to you. Number two, the whole thing of how when we say women, they dress nicely, but
Okay, not just women. Don't attack us. I'm a woman.
Let me finish my point.
I'm allowed to say if you're not.
Okay, backtrack. What I wanted to say is, men are visual creatures.
Okay.
Women are more, they listen to what people say. But then again, I think that is what has been said, that is what has been brought out to the society. So we see, but we don't want to hear what women are saying. We just want to see them.
Really?
It's important. That we listen to everyone. Like I said, networks start with conversations, communication. I can't network with you without hearing what you have to say and how you say it and whatever it is. Because if I don't talk to you, how will I know what you have upstairs? Like this is upstairs. So how will I know the content you have? We have to talk. So listen, talk, communicate.
Okay, I like that. Now let's go back just to the conversation of boundaries. Now, because majority of the people who are asking me some of these questions are looking to get into, they're either in the career and looking to grow, or just getting into their careers, by the onset of their careers rather. So I look good, I smell good, I've shown up in a room, I'm showing up, I look good and everything for the appropriate occasion, dressed for the occasion. Now, what kind of conversations do I entertain? Someone says hi, what kind of conversation do I strike? Is there a conversation for every space and every time? Because we might be at an IT or content creation event talking about dishes.
Yeah.
Does it matter?
That's a very interesting, again, another topic. That's a whole conversation again. Especially now in the corporate world. This is what I believe as a person. Depending on how, because now this is very hard, especially for ladies, because I feel we live in a space where we as men, not everyone, this is quote unquote, it's not statistical at all.
Disclaimer.
Most men, yes,
All
disclaimer.
of the disclaimers.
Yes, most men, the moment you see, if I am a recruiter and then I see a girl The first thing that strikes me is how is she looking? How is she dressing? And we tend to base the whole conversation around that person. Now this is where the homework to now the women come in. It's for you now, because already in my heart and in my mind, that is what I have seen from the other side. Now this is what now the women need probably now to protect themselves. More often than not in those conversations, me as a man, I'll try and bring up a conversation starter to see if you pick it up. That's where now I feel the opportunity to create that boundary has been set. The moment I just try and bring that up, to be something like you're very beautiful. You know, it's a whole office conversation. I know I'm already beautiful, so I'll be telling you that. What's the end goal of this conversation about me and my beauty? I know already.
Can I cut it short?
Yeah.
Now I'm curious. Is it wrong? So African men are not told they're handsome, many of them.
Yeah.
Very few African men are bought for flowers. I'm intentional to get my friends who are male, flowers. My father, my brother, flowers. Mm-hmm. Well, if that's their thing, yeah. It's appreciating who the other person is, but with what intent?
True.
It's okay, because you see, for me, in my space at least, how I've been able to network with some people is it starts with a compliment. Oh, hi, I like your jacket. Oh, hi, you're very beautiful.
You have nice earrings.
Yeah, you have nice earrings. Then it warms up their heart. Then they can just let go. You're not starting off from, hi, so the rain, the rain. You know, that small song. The small song. Hey, the economy, Zakayo. Alafu mnanyamaza is that awkward silence. Yesterday, the nyanya prices. But when you start with a compliment, someone feels like, okay, some warmth. So how do you differentiate the two?
I understand what you mean, but this is the thing. We're looking at this as I've just met you. Yes, there's the usual compliment, and you can be able to tell from the tone, or from, especially from the tone of how that has been said. Mm-hmm. We're trying to set a precedence of how they want this conversation to go.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to be on the lookout more to see on the progression of this conversation. Mm-hmm. The more this conversation progresses to a side or an angle that you don't like, you set your boundaries there and then.
Yeah.
If it's just a normal compliment, fine and good, it's fine. I look good, thank you. But that's where it's supposed to end. I don't know you like that. That's the other thing. Because all this now is set in a specific environment. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that. I've known you for at least a few days and a few months here and there. It would not be very awkward, but if I met you right now, and that's the first thing I tell you, for sure there will be so many questions around it. I won't try to recruit someone, then tell them that's the first thing. Yeah. I tell them, I like what I see as your work profile. I like your work objectives, but I won't straight away go to, I like the shoes that you're wearing. Mm-hmm. That's a whole different topic. Me and you don't know each other that way.
Yeah.
So boundaries are set depending on the environment and the conversation that you guys are having at that time. Because what you will see is, sorry to say, women love compliments. So they tend to, what's the right word? Yeah, they'll entertain compliments, but they don't know what my intentions are at the end. Because I tell you today that tomorrow I'll invite you for coffee, and I am your recruiter. So by the time you know it, it's too late to set those boundaries, and you've even crossed so many of them. So it's hard to go back to the start.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where I now need to
fine-tune whatever.
Yes.
I really like that. I digress a little bit. I came across, would I say a quote or a video? generally in the world, but in African states, majority of the times, we are brought up, especially women, brought up to see male figures as, we shall get into the men. We're brought up to see male figures as father figures.
Yeah.
So you forget that the person in the office is not your father. That is your boss, your recruiter, your colleague, your peer, even someone below you who should respect you. So then women tend to shrink themselves when it's a colleague who's a male speaking to them. I don't know whether you've observed this, but then when it's fellow women, they exert their superiority, which is very unfortunate. So just where I was headed was learning how to intentionally separate that this is not your family member or your father who you need to fear, quote unquote. This is someone who you can talk to one-on-one. This is something that I've had to unlearn over time. So it is like a struggle for many women, and I will see that a lot. And it's something that I believe, well, to whoever is listening, we are all in this space where we're in our careers. Well, if you're going to have children or you have children, I think it should be something that is intentionally taught to children at a very young age. Whoever is out there is not your family member. You treat them as a human being, not as a superior being, just because they are either of a particular gender. Same thing with men. They went to egg, like, what's it called? Mayai. Like, bembeleza, what am I looking for? They're very careful with female colleagues. So they don't end up giving constructive feedback. Just because you're trying to spare their feelings. Like, oh, this is my little sister. But you're not helping them grow at all. That happens, yeah?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, now does this apply to men? Whatever he was saying, that is. Does it matter that a man is given a compliment, Kip? Does it affect me?
Is this to compliment?
Okay, but there's something that you mentioned before you go to the compliments part. About the office setup and corporate and whatever, like in any environment that you're in, there's the whole masculinity and female thing and all. But I think for me, what I employ would be gender. Yes, gender is important in the sense that we identify with male and female stuff. But in
this space, we're identifying just male and female.
Yes.
There are very many.
What I'm trying to say is, in a work environment, you should view, I think it's important to see the other person as their job description, for lack of a better term. Because if you start bringing womanhood and malehood over there, you'll find that someone is a CEO who's younger and is a woman will lose respect from an older gentleman who's not at that level. So you see, it goes beyond your gender. It's what you're doing, your role, and what your job description at that point in the office. Now, leave the office, come home. You submit your husband treat your wife well. That we can discuss in terms of how we treat each other as the and finger. In the office setup, treat that person as a colleague, and remember that it's a job description. You're there for a reason. You're there for a working environment, not because you're female or male. That has nothing to do with what you're doing at the office. So that said, back to compliments. Give us compliments as men. I think it's the whole toxic masculinity thing that is imbibed.
Compliments.
I agree. We can live without them. I think we should be in an environment where compliments are given and accepted with no ill intentions. If I meet someone, I'll tell them, hey, you're beautiful. I can say, I don't know if this is the correct thing. I'm not trying to be politically correct. I find you attractive. But that doesn't need to go beyond there. No sexual innuendos implied. You are attractive very, very well. I will tell you that. Stops there. And what Hesbon was saying, as I was saying as before, the whole thing of setting boundaries. Don't be so guarded that you can't receive a compliment. There's a guy out there who sees you and appreciates you for who you are.
As you are.
Not that they want to go beyond there. So let's accept.
I've told the guy he's handsome and he looks at me like, you want to get my number? I'm like, just you are handsome, that's it.
So,
Yeah.
women, let's start, because you see, most of this affects the female gender.
Yeah.
Mostly. Because I tell you someone, hey, Mazel, you're looking so good. And someone's like, I have a man. Bro, sijafika hapo. I'm just telling you, you look good. I'm appreciating God's creation.
Sema asante.
Sema asante.
Yeah.
Smile, give me that smile. That's it. I'm done. Move on. As men, buy us flowers. Tell us that we're handsome.
Mr. Pastor is very skeptical about that.
It's because I feel like when it comes to networking, and especially when it involves different genders, then it's borderline. Where do we draw the line? It's a very interesting chemistry. There's a lot that is involved. And now that also brings about the boundaries. Because by the time now we're getting to buy each other flowers, you compliments are fine. If I receive them, fine. If I don't, then we go here.
Don't actively seek them.
That's all I do. But it depends now. Because for me, I'm fine. With or without the compliments, with or without the flowers. I don't even know why I put the flowers. I feel very weird working with them in town. So keep appreciates keep appreciates chocolates, keep appreciates flowers. Very much sure, yeah. It's fine. For me, but I'm a gangster. You don't buy me flowers. Don't bring me chocolate. I'm fine, man.
I really like that. And now I'll go to Kip then. So how that brings us to how do you study your audience? Because there is that crowd that will appreciate that compliment, that will appreciate those flowers, and there's that crowd that will be like, what kind of weird gangster things are these? How do you know your audience, and how do you tap into their unique likings or dislikes so that you're able to leverage on that to tap into opportunities? Because at the end of the day, this discussion should lead to, if Kip knows there's someone who needs a content creator to get a message out there, he should be able to call Magoma, yeah? Mm-hmm. I should be the first person that comes to mind. If I know someone needs a banker, if I know someone needs a recruiter, a farmer, I should be able to tap into your strengths because you're my closest networks. Being able to mention your names in rooms filled with opportunities, but that begins with that networking kind of setup, information exchange, etc. So yeah.
I think that's where based on the conversation just had in terms of complement and rotary and boundaries, from there, how do you grow beyond that conversation? So that's where the whole boundaries thing comes, and they're like, no, we don't go that way, let's go this way. Talk about what you know, whatever it is that you're able to talk about. But also it's important to know that different forums provide different platforms. Earlier this morning...
I like that, different forums provide different platforms.
Yes. This morning, as my cousins, and then she was saying that someone went to Ibiza and then started complaining that people are going there for parties and it's loud. What do you expect in a party island? Like, why even complaining that people are sleeping on the plane and people are drunk everywhere? I'm not advocating for drunkenness. I'm just using that as an example. But basically what I'm trying to say is, whatever platform that you go for, like now, this coming weekend, there's a content content creators forum that you're hosting.
Synergy, guys. You should definitely purchase tickets.
That is a platform for content creation.
Yeah.
Go there, learn, pick what other content creators have done. So you see, that platform is that for that opportunity for content creators. Move on to something else. Go to a bank, you want to learn finance, you want to learn what? Pick a partner, pick someone who's an experienced, who's a banker. Learn from what he has. That is a platform for that. Get to the weekend, it's farming time. We go to the farm. What is it that happens around the farm area? Let's talk about plants, let's talk about exports, let's talk about onions, let's talk about potatoes, whatever that you're talking about. So in this scenario, every platform is different and every conversation is different. So how you get there is from that start of that conversation where you've told someone hi, you complimented them or not, you're able
Or
to.
not.
Or not. That's what I said, or not.
Please compliment.
I took a particular. Oh, we shall decide really the guy.
I can do it. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm struggling to give you compliments unless I know you.
You can do that.
So that's all.
Stop close. Yes.
Stop that.
When you're pastor, hey, umeiva kwa pastor.
See, the compliment, take it. So anyway, so you see, in that environment, once you start a conversation, it will lead somewhere. So pick-up points is from that, how do you lead to talking to people? And then the other key point is listening. I can't be yapping about the government the whole damn time and you don't give the other person room to talk. How will you know that this person works for the government, for lack of a better term? You need to listen. So it goes both ways. Talk and listen. So once you listen, that also guides the conversation, by the way. Because you listen to and find, for example, if I'm with Dagoma and we just met, hi, how are you? Okay, good, thank you. And the conversation goes beyond that and they tend to gravitate towards content creation. That will tell me that the interest is in content creation. And I will pick her brain about it. And I will learn from there. Because that's, conversations, that's why it's that. You need to talk to someone, then pick up that conversation. As the conversation balloons, is when you pick that interest that you want.
Yeah.
Safe to say for me, like Hesbon said, he's done a lot of things. I've been through a lot of fields as well. I'm an IT guy turned banker. So I'm a background in IT. I've been a chauffeur, I've been a tour guide, done a bit of farming before than what you're doing. So in those areas, I can get to pick a conversation with someone about farming or tourism. I will get to know that Tibet over there is a tour guide, right? And I know someone who wants to do a trip to Masai Mara. Like, yeah, by the way, there's someone who does tourism. Do you want to talk to them? And then once you do that, give those people room to pick their conversation. You don't need to babysit that conversation.
And like that.
It's important to know that once you meet someone, you can meet someone through someone else. Let them grow. You don't need to, this person was my friend, now he's gone, they're becoming best friends. Don't hate on that.
Yeah.
Let that person go in their own way. So let that conversation grow. Let it prosper the way it is, or not.
Or not. I really like that. I learned something that most people do. So like in a space where you're networking, you and I might not have similar interests.
Yes.
But my friend there has an interest. You guys share an interest. It's just about saying, hi, let me introduce you to someone.
Yeah.
Then handing you over. Then that way you become a connector.
Yes.
And the same people can do the same for you. It's all about reciprocity,
Yes.
which is very, very important. You can't just, for me, my philosophy at least is that I have learned over time, in my 24 years of living, is basically help people get to where they want or who they want to get to. That way, the same will be done for you. It's as simple as that. Somehow the universe will connect you by helping people. It's very, very important. Now, so I have networked, I have gotten that opportunity, I have started working. We have already figured out how to network and how we can tap into opportunities. The person has mentioned my name, I have a job. I want to invest. When do I start investing?
Can also invest without getting that job.
For real? Please teach me your ways, master. You don't need money to invest.
You do.
There's investing. I have invested in networks. That's a different kind of investment. I have invested in paying for summits, events, which is so important. I'm always saying this. Usinipie tu pombe na sherehe tafadhali. Ni muhimu, lakini pay for events that will connect you to different people. There's a tendency that we have as Africans, me sometimes included, we don't like to pay for things, which is so sad. You hear there's an event, complimentary, yeah. You hear I'm hosting an event, but once you remove money out of your pocket somehow it forces you to be so keen to gaining the value that space has got to offer. But now, please teach me, how do I invest?
Before he answers that, I wanted to say something. When it comes to investments and basically, investments, you need capital, right? Mm-hmm. But there are different forms of capital. From my end, that's what I think. There's the money part, there's money, there's social capital, which people forget.
So important.
Social capital is very important because in any case, in any environment, any industry, you need people. Any industry across board is centered on people, be it a service provision or a product provision. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, you need to interact with people. So social capital is very important.
I think she has already answered. But maybe I can stress on that. People shouldn't shy away from investing just because I do not have money to put in. Mm-hmm. Not all investments necessarily start with that capital. I think I've had so many stories of people who started with an egg to chicken run. But this
who bought the egg?
I'll give you a story. When I started hustling and looking for money, this was way back when I finished Form 4. I necessarily didn't have money, and I also didn't have someone to give me the money.
Yeah. I
had to hustle my way out of it. Probably do some odd jobs here and there, collect that 50, 100 shillings, put it somewhere. We don't have the large sums as we want to put it. Don't need the 100,000 or 50,000. I remember there was a time I used to sell newspapers along my driveway once.
Me God, man.
But you have to push yourself, do whatever is necessary to get you that 50 shillings to start something. So don't shy away from investing or becoming an investor just because you don't have the cash.
Yeah.
Look for that 50 shillings. It will always multiply and replicate. Now, how do you go about investing? For me, it's about three things. Learn the basics of investing.
What are the basics of investing?
So these are the basics. One, just learn what is investing first. What are you investing in? Where? With whom? What are you investing towards? What's the goal of this investment? Mm-hmm. Start with the basics of why you want to do whatever you want to do. Secondly, learn your investing identity. Are you a risk taker? Are you someone who's risk averse? Are you the one who's like, kesho tena ni bus and then go? Are you the one, because me kitambo I used to be that person who I'd rather the money stay in my pocket where I can't see it than put it out there and risk it. And it's a habit, because all of us have we have diverse ways of dealing with money. And there's someone who, and this is now from how we've been brought up seeing money and interacting with money, that influences how we react to the money that we have.
Yeah.
For me, coming from a place where it wasn't enough, the moment I got it, I wanted to keep it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Until I learned even the one that is in my pocket, with the economy is not enough. I have to. There are people who are just risk takers. They put the entire money out there, it's gone. What are the came? But the moment they hit it big. So there's that, understand your identity. What is your nature with money? What is your nature with opportunities? Are you the person who will be the first person to run to an opportunity? Are you the one who will lag behind and say, hey, acha kwanza tuone, you remember how the cool business went? Mm-hmm. So there are people who went big, fast, got the money, got out. By the time the other guys were, they call laggers, I think in economics.
Yeah, we have the innovators,
yes,
the early risers.
Something.
Yeah, like the 5 categories, yeah.
Yes. So there are those ones who will...
Kip can't relate.
Oh, sorry. We'll catch up.
Could you do this?
So there are guys who will jump to opportunity after they have seen the risks, what it means and everything. Sorry. So by the time they are going in, the opportunity is already gone.
Yeah.
So what's that with you? Then thirdly, after you've understood the basics, after you've understood your identity in terms of as an investor, invest. Look for a venture to invest in. What are you good at? Because I'm a strong believer in investing in something that you are good at.
Must you be passionate at? When investing, what matters first? Is it what you're good at or what you're passionate about? Because you see, you're bound to hit some rocks.
Yeah, for sure.
It does not mean that you should stop when you hit them. It just means that it's going to be tough, but you will weather the storm. So what do you start with? What I'm good at or what I'm passionate about?
It's a very thin line between what I'm good at and what I'm passionate about. Because what I'm passionate about, I'm also good at it.
Really?
Ideally, yeah. Ideally, so if you love football, you're passionate about football, yeah? And you want to learn about it, so you get good at it. So ideally, there's that gray area between what you're passionate about and what you're good at.
It's a very thin line. It's very hard to separate between your passion and your strengths. Because you'll find you more often than not put more effort in what you think you're good at than what you think you're not good at.
Yeah.
And psychologically, you tend to love whatever you think you're really good at. And sometimes we run away from things that you're good at, for sure.
That's true.
By the time you're like, oh, by the way, I'm good at this. It's already 40 years. So identify what will give you happiness at that time and try and transform it into money. For example, content creation, it's your passion. You love cameras, you love being in front of all this.
Yeah.
And this is how you make your money. I'm assuming.
Yes, it is.
I'm assuming.
Yes, it is.
So you have turned your hobby, what you love, into a money-making scheme.
Yes, but now we'd also get back to...
it's not a scheme, sorry.
It's a scheme.
It's more.
That's so wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like this.
Creation is a scheme.
It's
an empire. I prefer the word empire.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Empire.
Yeah, it's an empire.
Making empire.
But now that goes back to weathering the storms. Very few people, especially my generation, which is majority of the audience that we're talking to right now, truly understand it takes time, heavy investment, especially mental and emotional, into your strengths before they become a skill set that you can sell.
Yeah, for sure.
So when do you know when to quit? Because there are things again, by the way, wachana nayo. For real. Imekata. You're good at it, but it's not. That's why I asked you about the question of money, passion versus strength, yeah? Some things you might be good at it, but it won't bring you money. If you're good at creating, unfortunately, a studio, zile za film, zile films are brown. Yeah, I still know them, guys, despite my age. Just because you're good at it does not mean to make you money. We're living in the selfie age. So it's understanding, just because I have a strength, I have a passion for it, I can work on it, does not necessarily mean that we will put food on my table.
Sure.
And I want Kip to respond to that just to...
No, because the
Quails. Tunawacha quails. No, we understand. It's a sleepover time.
Before I go to that, I think you talked about finance. So the finance part when it comes to investments. I want to say something about social part of investments. I am not that good with this kind of business. Nikhil did skills of my life, musical what is lagging? What is
because I asked you.
Anyway, social capital for me is you need to capitalize on your relationships with people. Case in point, I know Magoma is a content creator.
Yeah.
I want to meet Aziat, for example. I will be your friend. That is social capital, by the way, in all its intents and purposes. Yeah, it's because
Is that so funny?
anyway, Aziat, if you're watching this,
But she's so
I would
smart
like to
and
meet you.
gorgeous.
Okay, so we do.
Is it like compliments when you're happy?
Apparently, bro, this is gorgeous. Apparently, compliments.
She's a brilliant young woman.
Unapenda compliments. So unapenda compliments. Do you give compliments?
That's the moment you were like, yeah. Like he's supposed to agree with me. Like, yeah.
I think that's the context of the conversation. The question.
Azia is a content creator
Majority,
and a radio presenter.
Azia,
Oh, good, thanks. We were worried for a minute there. We thought we'd lost you.
Hey, back to social network.
Yeah.
Every person you talk to has value for something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to say chase that value in that person. Build relationships with the people that you are. And by relationships, I don't mean you get the whole. Okay, the problem is the whole relationship has been misconstrued in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
I have a relationship with Hesbon because I work with him and he's my friend. Yeah. So the question is, how do you? In fact, let me use us as an example. How do you get from colleagues who met at work to being now business partners?
Yeah.
It's a conversation that might be long, but I'll cut it short. We meet often in the office. Hi, that kind of thing. Apart from the age that we are more or less the same, we share same interests. In the sense that now we are talking about farming, and he's interested in farming. I love farming, and that's why I was saying you gravitate towards what you love in that conversation. We talk about what you like and what is in your environment.
Yeah.
We came up the whole conversation about farming. I was like, yeah, I'm interested. He does farming, so what can we do? We go check out a farm, we go, so this is farming, and that's brought us into business together.
Okay.
So see, if I had it happen,
Sorry.
if I had it happen,
Unaona nalisha guest wangu hadi wanabaki.
Mimi kwanza. So you see, if I don't get to have that conversation with him about farming, we would have been business partners with what we are doing right now.
Yeah.
So talk. That is where social capital starts.
Mm-hmm.
I knew him, and if there's anyone at any given point in time who wants to do farming, and I know them, they'll know as well through me, right?
Yeah.
And we are doing farming. Someone else comes in, I'm interested in what you guys are doing. I want to do the same thing, and that's where you see the social network that you create. I'm good with people, for example. He's good with math and business things that we talked about, and exports and what have you.
Yeah.
So if he does the part for exports, in my capital, apart from the finances that we're putting in together, will be how to deal with maybe the farmer or the people who are exporting. Case in point, we have the farm we're getting from the guy. They were trying to reach out to him, and he wasn't reachable. And also, he's like, bro, you handle that part. You can talk to people easily.
Yeah.
So you see, it's my strength, and it's my capital in the business, apart from the finances. So that's where social capital comes in.
You're able to leverage on each other's strengths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not just that, it goes beyond that. Because now, if we produce things from the farm, we want to export them. I may not know anyone who does exports. I don't think it's necessary that you know, but it helps you have a leveraging point when you have someone who can assist you in that.
It does. Yeah.
So he knows someone who does exports. So that's where his social capital comes in.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, there's someone who exports. Let's go talk to him. And then when we get there, in that sense.
It's very important.
And that's how that cycle is built. So it goes beyond you meeting at work to what we're doing right now, as doing the farming. So even you in Magoma, correct me if I'm wrong, the friends that you met through this content creation, there's some people you never thought you'd meet.
My goodness.
And it came as a result of just having a conversation with someone who took you to another person, who picked another person. And in that setup, what I'm trying to say is whatever conversation you have with someone, give it your best. Don't shy away. There's someone who's bringing a call who can do much really nicely, but then you're having a conversation with someone and you don't want to show it because you're good with Madonna and Amazia. Okay, listen, let's talk. Talk about what you can do at the best level you can. Someone will pick that and they will mention your name in that room of opportunities. Just really give it out. Same I'm good at math. I am good at farming. I know how to farm. I know how to whatever it is that you can do. Apart from the regular for 8 to 5 people, apart from the hustling, you can talk to people. I mean, being in a complex environment restricts you in the manner of speaking to certain areas. If you're in operations, for example, in a working environment, you just do operations. But then people don't realize you can do beyond that.
Yeah.
So whenever you're in any setup, give it your all. Say what you can do. Then from there, someone will pick and you never know how opportunities will work your way.
I like that. There's a difference between bragging and telling people what I can do, which most people confuse. People, especially the youth, whether male or female, tend to shy away from saying I'm good at this because they don't want to be looked at as if they're bragging. Hey, you should see me. Hi, I'm Christine. I run a video series called Tech for Peace. We are looking for funding. Okay, obviously that's not what I do. That's what I do, like exactly like that. But I'd rather you get out of this space remembering that girl, Christine. You know how I got to host Zenergy actually? I paid for the last content creators workshop. Nilikuwa na maswali 1,000. I remember like when they were closing, so they were like, and the girl who actually got her money's worth.
That was you.
That was me. That was definitely me.
Look at you now, you're hosting.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like, say, people are very shy to look foolish or stupid. But funny enough, people actually don't perceive you to be stupid. It's a perception in the mind that I don't know what creates it. But majority of us have it. There's some form of imposter syndrome. I don't want to say this or talk good about myself because it might look like I'm either bragging or maybe I'm not good enough for it. So we tend to hold back when we could be giving and serving with whatever gifts we have. I think we have exhausted this conversation. Do you have anything you want to say? Yes, to about
Take home.
Hamna swali kwangu? You're all a good guest.
Yes.
Una swali?
I want to go to Zenergy.
You want to go to Zenergy?
Complimentary ticket, Zenergy.
Trust me, it's worth it. Only for 25k. It's worth it. Believe me, it's worth it. The last one I got my money's worth and more. I feel like I should have given them more money. Whatever I got from there. It's being intentional about. Okay, for me when I was leaving the house, every time I leave the house, well, my word, every year, like my age, I have a word. My last one was courage. This year I have 2. It's intentional and bold. So whenever I leave the house, what do I want to achieve out of this space? And how can I be of value in this space? I don't have to get out of it. But funny enough, whenever you give, it always comes back. Like that's a rule of nature. Whenever you give, you don't see it here and now, but eventually it always comes back. Volunteer for whatever is out there. Someone calls you and tells you they have an opportunity, especially if you're young and you have the time. Man, volunteer, say yes. Pay for that, especially paying for summits and events and workshops and books and podcasts. Go to platforms where, like he said initially, who do you want to become in the future? Define it. Then once you're intentional about it, look for that space. And majority of the times, in spaces where you're paying, you hardly ever find mediocrity.
Yeah.
I enjoy hiking, not because of the process itself, but because someone who wakes up in the morning to subject their body to that,
Torture.
they truly understand why the heck they're doing it.
Okay, I still don't understand because I
No, the fact that you showed up was enough.
Wait.
You still wouldn't hike with me again?
She was on get off.
Because that bad.
Bro.
It's just
I went for another one after.
Yeah, you see, you went.
So-
Oh, it's not meant to be a beautiful journey. I'll still complain when anatembea tu ni kama anatembea kwa
Hey, means
alikuwa wait.
Alikuja hiking na white.
show up, dress the way you want to be addressed. Remember
About it.
Show for the occasion.
Vacation environment.
Okay, fine. That was made a mistake.
It's okay.
It's learning.
We'll tell you when you'll be.
Learning can say. I learned from there. See, remember the next.
Hey, the next time you're looking nice, you're looking sharp.
Yes, see?
Sometimes Google learn. What do people wear?
Into hiking. White tracks.
Fine. I learned my lesson. It's called learning.
We appreciate you just
for
as
me,
well.
I think what I want to say is be bold. Be bold, talk, listen,
About yourself.
communicate. Yes, don't be shy. Always give people that benefit of that and learn from conversations. The best way is to listen to people and to talk to people. Engage. Put yourself out there for people to get to know.
I love it. Mr. Recruiter.
For me, what I would say is Mazeji Georgia. I feel like we can be anything that we put our minds to. You ought to put yourself out there. Don't ever say you don't know anything. In this digital era, as I go for everything that you can do. Ataka wesi mkumino not born into that. There's Google. There are so many platforms where you can learn. Get in touch with someone who can. Go out there and make sure that you're doing something every single day. Don't just sleep.
Sure. We'll go hiking.
Go hiking. Oh wow, my goodness, guys. Thank you very much for coming. I have enjoyed this conversation with both of you. You all are amazing individuals, very sharp
That's a compliment.
and honest.
Awesome.
I love your levels of honesty because you have been able to address and tackle some of the things that majority of people are shy to address, but still challenge young people, especially young men and women, in the spaces that they walk into. Well, basically just wrapping it up, the difference between kujichocha and mentioning your name in a room filled with opportunities and what you're capable versus being egocentric, I'd say, as well as dressing up properly versus dressing up and having something in your brain and how important it is. Yeah. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Oh my goodness, you've stuck around until the end. You're awesome. Thank you very much. Please do like, subscribe, and share. I have been with Mr. Pastor here, Museti, and Kip, my two amazing guests. Did you like this conversation? What do you feel like we addressed properly? What do you feel like wasn't really tackled or addressed? I know we have jumped from here to there. This is a conversation that would take a panel discussion for a whole week, yeah, literally.
True.
But what do you feel like we could do better? Drop the comment section down below, comment down below. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like, why you don't want to see them again, because I feel like I'd have a conversation with both of them again. This has just flown very easily and I love that. Please do like, subscribe, and share. Again, to Authentic by Magoma. Ebu ambi wafanyile kitu.
Yeah, do that thing, man. Like, subscribe, share.
Sasa najua kitu. But again, we have different
Surely. Namkuja Zinergy. I am hosting the Zinergy Content Creators Convention. Complimentary ticket. Pay for events. Because there is definitely value in those spaces that you're going to get. If you pay for event, summit, etc., you will not meet mediocrity. Hey, clearly it's time to wrap up. Kwaherini.